Hello, everyone. My name is Shalini. I am a junior at the U majoring in biology. I use she, hers pronouns, and I am an ACEs peer health educator on the violence prevention team.
Yeah, my name is Roberto Martinez. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I work at the university's counseling center. So I work with students that are experiencing emotional distress or big life issues. I also coordinate their crisis services. So when students are experiencing a crisis, mental health crisis, or um, physical, sexual violence, as well as just a staff member that's concerned for them, I usually talk with them. So that's what I do.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start by asking you, what does wellness beyond whiteness mean to you?
What comes up for me is I do a lot of mindfulness kind of skill building with students. And when I do my PowerPoints, I'll usually Google search like yoga or mindfulness or grounding. And every time that I Google search images for that, it's always a white woman overlooking like a sunset or in a yoga pose. And I think that's really hilarious, but also just I think the ways in which the wellness community or wellness kind of, I don't know, value is portrayed to a particular group. And so for me, I guess what that means is looking at wellness beyond those stereotypical mainstream things and really looking at what how oppression, racism, homophobia affects folks on the margins, and how we can empower ourselves to take care of ourselves in a way that's holistic and not just you know checking off a list.
Great, thank you. So if you could maybe elaborate a bit on how do you incorporate wellness beyond whiteness in your everyday work with students?
Yeah. So one of the ways that I incorporate it is in a very real sense, getting in touch with their bodies, right? Getting in touch with their emotions, um, not just what you think is good for you, but actually what feels good, what your body needs. Um, so one of the practices that I really enjoy working with students, using with students, is self-compassion. And so when we can practice self-compassion, we're able not just to only be mindful with what's happening, but also we're able to recognize that maybe this experience that we're having actually is a very normal and common human experience, and that can actually connect me with not just my loved ones, but my ancestors and people around me. And if I'm in tune with that emotion or that pain, I can also be in tune with what I need, maybe not to feel better, but at least to be with that pain in a compassionate way. Doesn't mean the absence of pain, but really how I'm meeting myself in a compassionate, maybe loving and caring way. I guess that's what I would say.
Great. My next question for you is what are some of the unique concerns that affect the mental health of Black and Indigenous students of color, as well as other students from other racial minorities?
Whoa, that's a big question there. Well, of course, I mean, one thing that comes to mind is like racial battle fatigue. So the concept that racism is not only hurtful to my emotions, but also to my physical well-being, my BHI, my migraines, stomach issues, because of my environment creates it creates distress in my body. And so that's often something that we see in counseling. The students that are coming to my mind right now are like first gen students that are first ones in their families to go to college and having to juggle not only the academics and the student kind of expectations, but also financial, helping back at home, maybe taking care of siblings, and then on top of that, just the pressure of succeeding because there's people coming behind them. Those are really different ways in which kind of students, the oppressive kind of environments that they're a part of, their mental health gets affected. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess maybe on a brighter note, then, what can mental health professionals do to improve the situation to better support students of color?
Besides dismantling capitalistic patriarchal system, I think becoming, really recognizing the ways in which a student's mental health is affected by their environments. So, and also, uh, unfortunately, our mental health profession is pretty white, right? And there is a lot of, uh, there's not, there's more now, but how can we help? So let me see here. So it's going to be becoming aware of kind of the ways in which students' environment affects their mental health, the ways in which different students have different experiences and ask for help differently, really trying to validate that experience, and also can we make opportunities for more uh, mental health professionals of color um, to uh, to come into the field and get good training. And then lastly, I think our students that are coming in have their own gifts and talents and beauty. And how as clinicians can we tap into that? We're really good at finding issues, and sometimes we're not as good as finding those gifts. So I would probably ask my fellow clinicians to see how we can tap into students' strengths, ancestral knowledge, gifts, things like that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think we're going to end this interview there. So thank you so much for your responses and thank you for being here.